Welcome along for the 2019 Sony Cup Series Championship for round 4 on the season. DJ Kurtis took the Sony pole on qualifying. It was a big upset for Toyota to grab the pole. Kurtis, usually very good on the road courses. Gonna be interesting to see how DJ Kurtis does. A lot of drivers like Jeffrey Fenguy, Dejon Weeks, Matthew Rodriguez, Zayden Davidson, Eric DeMax, Bobby Jones, Dylan Schwellenberg all qualified fairly well, and they're pretty good at running on the road courses, and it's going to be interesting to see. We're here at Willow Springs, first time in 2 years back at this racetrack. This track provides some really good racing. It's also a track that's very key on track position, but you can make your way up the order. We've seen it in the past, drivers able to work their way up the order. Some drivers are going to have to dig their way out of a hole. Dom Capps, Jake Bassinger, some I see down there. Kyle Collins ran good at Rockingham, had a bad run at Las Vegas. He'll be deep down the order. And also, Sean Harple, Cody Lamas starting out back in the 40th and 41st position. They crashed in practice and had to go to a backup car. They'll start dead last, so they have their work cut out for them today. But DJ Kurtis, king of the road for sure. From 2017, he won many races on the road courses. He's in the 19 Toyota, gonna lead the field to green. The weather here at Willow Springs looks absolutely perfect for a race. DJ Kurtis trying to pull off a pretty big upset for Toyota. Went winless all last year. And here they are on pole position with one of the best drivers on a road course of DJ Kurtis. Can he pull it off? He's got Sanford, Fenguy, Weeks, Young, Mace, Davidson, Rodriguez, Davis, and DeMax. That's the top 10 drivers as the field gets ready for 51 laps today. And DJ Kurtis brings us to green. Round 4 is underway. Great start by DJ Kurtis, but Sanford sliding up, trying to get to the inside. Here comes Weeks, 3 wide for the race lead here on lap 1. A very winding turn here to start the race. 3 wide for the race lead. Dejon Weeks, who has started off the year very poorly, 3 wide. Kurtis trying to hang in on the outside. Charles Sanford, who won at Canadian Tire, contact with Kurtis. Kurtis is off in the gravel, off in the dirt. Gonna have to bring it back down to the racetrack. Way wide goes DJ Kurtis. He's gonna slide back up the track. Look out, there's Jordan Davis, second in the championship. And DJ Kurtis. Man, many people thought that Kurtis could possibly, if he could get the jump on the start of this race, lead Martin Motorsports to possibly a win. And DJ Kurtis from pole position is dead last. Take a look at that again, 3 wide there. Weeks was all the way off, nearly in the gravel. What a job by these drivers. And you're going to see here Sanford and Kurtis make contact. That's going to severely hurt the aerodynamics of that 24 car. But Charles Sanford trying to get after it, trying to get a win there. But look at Dejon Weeks around the outside. He's going to end up taking the lead of this race. I'm curious to see how Jordan Davis, second in the championship, is going to do. That's exactly what Jeffrey Fenguy wants to see. Ryan Griffin's been poor all race weekend, and he's deep in the pack, gonna have to work his way up. But Sanford takes the lead from Charles Sanford, or Weeks takes the lead from Charles Sanford, and back for 3rd place is the 48 Lowe's Chevy trying to make a position on Jeffrey Fenguy. And Zayden Davidson is into the top 5. Great start of the race for Davidson. And Eric DeMax for Rodriguez Racing having a great run in the opening lap. Fenguy not wanting to give up. He's trying to get 3rd place back. A very crazy opening part to the race, and Fenguy going to take 3rd place back from Nick Mace. Mace and Sanford looking to break the Dodge's winning streak. Fenguy, the only Dodge really up here in the top 10, challenging as Ryan Acosta and Will Lewis are back here trying to fight with Matthew Rodriguez. They make up the end of the top 10. Dom Capps and Ryan Griffin trying to work their way up. Jake Bassinger, who started mid-pack, struggling still just a little bit in the early going. Jordan Davis, second in the championship, has 3 consecutive top 10s to start the year off. But Davis is 18th. Hoffman trying to make his way around Ryan Griffin. That is for 16th. And Dylan Schwellenberg looking every way around. Dom Capps. Oh, slight contact just a little bit on Dom Capps. Jesse Turner, who's had a poor weekend as well, on the back bumper of affiliate teammate of Bobby Jones. Bobby Jones recently just got by him for 12th. Matthew Rodriguez bumped down to 11th. Will Lewis holds the final 10th spot. They're checking off the corner. Jones trying to get around Rodriguez around the outside. That corner right there has been a very good corner to make passes on if he can get a good enough exit. And Jones not able to clear and get alongside Rodriguez. TJ Martin, a great start of the race right now. Ryan Acosta there in 8th. And a great start for both Eric DeMax and Zayden Davidson to be inside the top 10. Problems in the back of the field. James Shelley and Nick Pierrecles who's around. And Kyle Collins gets slight damage from bumping in the back of Nick Pierrecles there. So Shelley and Pierrecles are off the course too. Here's what happened. Kyle Collins trying to go up the middle of Nick Pierrecles. James Shelley holding his own back there in 33rd. And Shelley gets turned by Kyle Collins. And down into Nick Pierrecles. Alexander Rowe makes it by, but Collins gets slight damage and holds up the rest of the pack. Here comes Ryan Acosta on a spot on Eric DeMax. Eric DeMax has been doing some open wheel starts to try and get some practice on road courses. And Eric DeMax has been pretty good on the road courses, trying to hold off Ryan Acosta, who's been one of the better Dodge cars all season. And Acosta not able to make that pass on DeMax. Will Lewis underneath of TJ Martin. That is for 9th, and very easily going to take that position away. Down on pit road, Jordan Davis has to give up his position. He was running inside the top 15. And Jordan Davis, second in the championship. This is not what he needed. And 4 consecutive top 10s in a row, possibly not going to happen today. Eric DeMax underneath of Zayden Davidson trying to take this spot away. DeMax trying to get 6th from Zayden Davidson, and Ryan Acosta's there as well. A great start for Eric DeMax. I questioned if he'd be able to stay in the top 10, and indeed he has. Up to 6th position here. Davidson not wanting to give up. Further back, a fight to get into the top 10. Matthew Rodriguez trying to join what DJ Kurtis was able to do, get into the top 10. Rodriguez qualified very well, not able to hold the top 10 position as of now, trying to get back into it. And he makes a pass on Martin back there for 10th, while Eric DeMax moves into 6th. A great battle has been going on between TJ Martin and Jesse Turner the last lap. Turner trying to get around Martin, but Martin trying to hold that spot. Contact there from TJ Martin and Jesse Turner. And Turner slides off in the dirt. TJ Martin trying to hold on to 11th, trying to challenge Rodriguez to get back in the top 10. Turner loses a handful of positions. He drops down to 15th or 16th. And Schwellenberg around the outside trying to get 11th, who's had a very poor showing to start this season. He's not had a top 10 at all in the first 3 races, and he's trying to get up there. Martin still holds 11th. Zayden Davidson under fire now from Ryan Acosta. Acosta trying to go around the outside. If he can hold this on the outside, he'll be on the inside and the preferred line. Ryan Acosta now to the inside. Zayden Davidson going to take that position away. Dom Capps is after Bobby Jones. Jones trying to cover him off. This is a... Oh, contact there with Jones and Capps. This is a battle for 13th. Jones has had a very good opening start to the season. He's in the top 20 in points, while Capps is outside the top 30. Desperately needs a good run. He's looking for a top 10 day, while Rodriguez is sitting there in 10th, looking for another top 10 run. Rodriguez has had a pretty solid season compared to Capps. Capps has had a miserable luck to start the year. He's now looking for a position on Dylan Schwellenberg. And here comes Rodriguez underneath of Zayden Davidson. Zayden Davidson really struggling with his race car. And Capps, or Rodriguez actually, on the outside to the right-hand side. Trying to go around him. Gonna have the preferred line. And Matthew Rodriguez had to check up just a little bit, but he's gonna take that position away from Zayden Davidson. But up towards the front, Jeffrey Fenguy has been trying so hard the last few laps to try and get around Charles Sanford. Sanford very good at defending, and Sanford's a pretty good road course ringer as well. He knows how to get around, but Fenguy around the outside trying to take that second place away. Jeffrey Fenguy, one of the better road ringers, and many people thought that Jeffrey Fenguy could be a threat to take this win. And on the inside now. And he's going to get it from Charles Sanford. Sanford with that damage early on lap 1, possibly hindering him just a little bit. Dejon Weeks trying to check out. Weeks outside the top 20 in points, has kind of had a miserable start to the season. and he's trying to get a win here at the road course at Willow Springs. Will Lewis looking to pick off another race car. Will Lewis has been very methodical all season of trying to finish strong and finish solid. And Horizon Group has had a very good opening start to the season. And Will Lewis around Eric DeMax for 6th. Cody Lamas recently just moved his way up into the top 20. Ryan Griffin, we haven't talked about him all race. Griffin has been really struggling with his race car. Very unlike Ryan Griffin, he looked really strong in testing on the road courses. But here at Willow Springs, he's kind of been struggling along with a few other drivers like Jake Bassinger. Really struggling. Sean Harper, who started out back along with Matt DeLeo, they're working their way into the top 25. Now Ryan Acosta is going to try and get his piece on Eric DeMax. But oh, contact there with Ryan Acosta and DeMax. Acosta just kind of ran in the back of Eric DeMax. DeMax was trying to check up for the apex, and Acosta just runs right in the back of him, and that's seriously going to hurt Ryan Acosta. Great run out at Las Vegas to get 2nd place with strategy, and I wonder if that didn't hurt the radiator of that 45 Dodge. And here comes Matthew Rodriguez. Yeah, the 45 seems like he's struggling just a little bit. Acosta trying to readjust, see if he can't get that 45 car back to where it was. Charles Sanford down to 3rd, continuing to struggle a little bit with his car. That damage possibly playing a little bit of an effect there. And Nick Mace, who has been very solid to start the year off. Sanford and Mace are pretty close on points, and they continue to have a very solid, but not very impressive, start of the year. They're looking to try and win races, and they're just a little bit off today of trying to win races. Jeffrey Fenguy, Dejon Weeks, they're checking out. Weeks holding a pretty solid lead on Jeffrey Fenguy for now. Cody Lamas continuing to pick his way through race cars. He had a pretty fast car in practice and just completely wiped it out and had to go to a backup and had to go to the rear. And Lamas from dead last is up into the top 15, looking to get around Bobby Jones here. Dom Capps runs to the back of TJ Martin just up ahead. And Martin, who has really played blocker, really, to try and keep cars behind him. He's been in 11th for a handful of laps now. And, man, Dom Capps, similar to Ryan Acosta, runs to the back of somebody, and that looks even worse than Ryan Acosta's hood. That might be a very big issue there for Dom Capps, and he may have to pit. Yeah, the aerodynamics on that 6 Toyota is messed up for good. Capps was working his way up towards a top 10 run, was trying to get around TJ Martin to go after Zayden Davidson, and he just lost a position to Dylan Schwellenberg, and Lamas on the outside trying to go around him. Man, what a poor break for Dom Capps. 4 weeks in a row that Dom Capps just does not have things go his way. And Schwellenberg and Martin, Hardy's National Series veterans. Oh, Martin again getting aggressive with somebody, trying to keep people behind him. And Schwellenberg not able to make the pass. TJ Martin is on pit road. I don't know if this is the beginning of pit stops, if Martin is short pitting or not, but everyone behind him is just happy that he's out of the way. I want to take a look back. We're closing in on pit stops again, like we mentioned. TJ Martin, his teammate of Jesse Turner and Jake Bassinger and Hoffman, they have struggled. TJ Martin did the best one out there for a while, and man, the Turner Performance cars not running that well. In fact, the Hero Motorsports cars, who are getting the same engines and help from Turner Performance, are doing better than the Turner Performance cars. Bobby Jones is in 13th and just up the road. Zayden Davidson holding on to the final top 10 spot. And a battle there for 11th still raging on between Schwellenberg and Lamas. Lamas, great run from out back. But Chris Dodd, 4th in points down here in 17th. Sean Harper down in 20th. He's had a miserable start to the season. But Ryan Griffin down in 22nd. Unusual for Ryan Griffin to be this slow. And considering he won 2 races in a row, trying to win 3 races in a row, and it's just not going to happen today. Griffin just does not have it, which is very odd considering the pace he's had the last 2 events. Pit stops are starting to unfold. Dom Capps is on pit road, possibly going to get a lot of repair work and going to drop down the order. Charles Sanford just up ahead in the 24 Chevy. He pitted from the inside the top 5. Here it is, Dejon Weeks, lap 26. Jeffrey Fenguy also coming in. This is going to be the money stop here. Nick Mace also going to dive it onto pit road. The leaders all coming to pit road. This is the money stop, the one and only time you'll see drivers on pit road. Will Lewis gets held up behind Jose Mills just a little bit, but this is going to be it. And there's been a crash on pit road. Matthew Rodriguez has ran to the back of Eric DeMax entering pit road. So both Martin Motorsport cars of Caps and Rodriguez, this looks like it's even worse on Rodriguez. And I'll be very impressed if that car can keep going. And a tough break for Matthew Rodriguez. He loses a good bit of positions there. Falls out of the top 10 there. And Matthew Rodriguez with no hood. There goes his teammate Dom Caps, who's a little better off. But tough break. And ran to the back of affiliate teammate of Eric DeMax, who also lost even more positions. And there's some cars sideways. Caleb Hoffman's there too. And Eric DeMax, what a good run going for him. And tough break. Eric DeMax also is getting repairs, gets slammed by Jesse Turner, who was having a bad race as well. And then entering the track, I don't know if there was oil leaking from the 60, but the 94 and the 22 just completely slid sideways. Fitzwater was able to keep it going, but Hoffman not so much. And I think Eric DeMax is leaking fluid out there. Bigger problems for Jake Bassinger. He had to come down pit road a second time. And Bassinger, no top 10s to start the year off, has had kind of a miserable start to the year. And in terms of performance, where have they gone in terms of pace? TJ Martin short pitting has been the best thing for TJ Martin, but I don't know if he'll be able to make it all the way on fuel. A big pit strategy move by TJ Martin and team to get Martin up to third place. He's behind Fenguy and Weeks. Now, Fenguy, 3.5 seconds back. Can he make up the distance? They made adjustments on that 92, and everyone else really. Can they make up the ground? It is Weeks, Fenguy, Martin, Mace, Lewis. That's your top 5 with Sanford 6th, Young 7th, 8th is Ryan Acosta. They actually didn't make any adjustments really, it seems, on the hood of that 45. 9th place is Dylan Schwellenberg. This will be his first top 10 of the season if he can hold on to it. Zayden Davidson there in 10th. Great run for Davidson. And Lamas, who started dead last, in 11th, trying to get into the top 10. A great rebound for Cody Lamas to try and get a good point stay. Oh, and then back there in 12th, Dom Caps. 13th, Bobby Jones. 14th, Matthew Rodriguez with no hood, trying to get enough points out there. Eric DeMax on pit road again. He was leaking fluid in that 60 car. Chris Dodd in the top 15. Somebody's been off in the gravel in the dirt there in turns 1. But Chris Dodd letting the race come to him in the top 15. Charlie Smith 16th. Jesse Turner, who's had a lot of damage to the front of his car. He's 17th. 18th, Kyle Collins. 19th, Zachary Fitzwater. And 20th, Matt DeLeo. Here's where that smoke came from. Shifting up the gears. And Sean Harple completely blows the motor here. And the engine goes south on the 25 Chevy. And it's actually not blown up here, but there it goes. Sean Harple getting up through the gears. Had worked his way into the top 20 along with Matt DeLeo and Cody Lamas, who started out back. And Harple's race is going to end. Nick Mace has recently just got around TJ Martin while all the crazy stuff has happened. And Martin now under fire from Will Lewis. He's going to drop down to 5th. And looks like Martin has slight damage to the hood there. May not be very much, if anything, but he's been in a lot of contact, so I wouldn't be surprised if he has slight damage to that 71 car. But a great call nonetheless by crew chief of the 71 car to pit Martin there if he can make it all the way on fuel. Battle for the 3rd position starting to heat up just a little bit. Will Lewis on Nick Mace for position. Will Lewis, a pretty good road ringer. Nick Mace is as well. Here comes Lewis around to the left side. Mace kind of cuts it off. But Will Lewis has been hounding Nick Mace. He is on the back bumper looking for any way to get around him. And the Dodges have been so quick all season. Here comes Lewis to the right-hand side. Nick Mace sees him there. Side by side through the final corners. And Will Lewis gonna get that spot for Nick Mace and move Will Lewis up to 3rd. A great run for Will Lewis right now. Further back for the 12th position, Bobby Jones continues to have a very good run, just a little bit outside the top 10. And Jones cuts low of Dom Caps. Caps with a wounded Toyota trying to limp it home, trying to get as much points as he can. I think Caps is still determined to try and carry that 6 car to a top 10 finish, but he can't quite get anything there. Has to let Bobby Jones go, trying to cut back underneath of the 98 car. But Bobby Jones has the position, and moved Jones up to 12th. Caps down to 13th. Chris Dodd has joined the picture. He's usually really gone in the long run. I've seen that Dodd usually really comes to it near the end of the race, and a great run for Dodd to be in 14th. However, up front, Dejon Weeks has continued to do so well in making good lap times. He continues to run laps under a minute 15, and that is good race pace from Dejon Weeks. And trying to go around lap car DJ Kurtis, who had way high hopes for this race. Jake Bassinger up ahead as well. Lap cars are going to hold up Dejon Weeks just a little bit here, but Jeffrey Finguy, he's running just about 3/10 off the pace from where Dejon Weeks is running, and Weeks continues to stretch the gap out little by little. It's up to 5 seconds now, and it's going to take a miracle for Jeffrey Finguy to take this win away. Well, the strategy did not pay off for TJ Martin. Martin's had to come down pit road a second time, so I don't think they could make it all the way on fuel. And a tough break for TJ Martin, who had what possibly looked like a good day going on. Well, with TJ Martin coming down pit road, moved Cody Lamas up into the top 10. What a drive by Cody Lamas today. I don't know if he thought a top 10 finishing result was possible after going to the rear, and I know he was very disappointed with that. Same with Harpel and DeLeo, as they all looked like they had pretty fast cars, and they've really made a good show of it. At least Lamas and DeLeo has, while Harpel blew up, but DeLeo in the top 20, and Ryan Griffin back here with DeLeo. Griffin, a very miserable day, and he's still going to keep the point lead, but he's had a pretty comfortable point lead coming into this race, and that point lead's going to be pretty well gone with Finguy running as well as he has today. And more problems for Dom Caps. What a man. Caps has had miserable luck this season, and he was poised to try and get a top 10 even with a damaged race car, and it's gone. And for the third weekend in a row, Martin Motorsports blows a motor and blows their way out of a race. And Dom Caps specifically, oh man, I think this is the second weekend in a row, and oil on the racetrack with Fitzwater, Pierre-Cleese and Collins also spinning. But man, Dom Caps, I believe this is the second race in a row that he has fell out of the race due to an engine failure. Battle for 6th place unfolding. Ryan Acosta with a damaged 45 Dodge, trying to go, oh, nearly off in the dirt, and that kind of upset the car of the 45. And Ryan Acosta going to go around Ryan Acosta. Oh, slight contact there a little bit, but Ryan Acosta takes that spot away. Move Acosta up to 6th. Schwellenberg looking for 7th on Sanford there. Davidson's there too. And back there for 10th, Bobby Jones trying to close in on Cody Lamas for a top 10 run. As we come to 10 laps to go, Dejon Weeks trying to overthrow the Dodges. The Dodges have won the first 3 races, and you have, right now, Dejon Weeks a Ford trying to bring Ford to victory lane. And then behind him, you have 2 Dodges of Finguy and Lewis. They have had a very good day. Nick May stepped back there in 4th, and Weeks, his teammate of Dylan Young, in 5th. Ryan Acosta is up to 6th, Sanford 7th, Schwellenberg 8th, Davidson 9th, and Cody Lamas in 10th. That is your top 10 as it runs. Nick Pierre-Cleese has continued to have such a bad day. Watch this. Pierre-Cleese just completely loses it on his own, and off the course he goes. And man, Nick Pierre-Cleese has had a very terrible day. PJ Williams and Jesse Turner also join Nick Pierre-Cleese off into turn 1. And Turner has definitely struggled today. He's had a miserable weekend. Meanwhile, here comes Bobby Jones looking for a top 10 spot underneath of Cody Lamas here. And Bobby Jones trying to put Hero Motorsports all inside the top 10, while Turner Performance is severely struggling today. Hero Motorsports coming out here with a really good run, 8th and 10th right now. And Dylan Schwellenberg going after Ryan Acosta. This is for 6th place. And Schwellenberg easily going to take that away from Acosta. Well, hold on a second. Here comes Acosta. Thought about trying to make a move back, but couldn't hold it. Davidson there in 8th. And Bobby Jones easily gets by Cody Lamas there. Lamas is falling back. He's struggling with his race car just a little bit. Lamas and Daughter right there. There's been a big crash down here in the S's. Louvier gets spun by DJ Kurtis, and that was a race for 31st, I think. Actually, I think Louvier was on the lead lap compared to, actually one lap down compared to Kurtis, who may be in 2. And Louvier, a vicious lick for him, but he keeps it going. And Will Lewis gets by unscathed, and man, Jordan Davis nearly crashed into him. Alexander Rowe in his first Sony Cup Series start for Flying Aces Racing, going a lap down here in the closing stages of the race. As we're in 3 laps to go, Dejon Weeks holds a very comfortable lead. Weeks, what a day he's had. He's led every lap so far. He's looking to try and lead the last couple. And Weeks has had such a dominating performance. If he could win today, he's not going to get all his points back. He's not going to come in within a race, but he's going to cut that deficit down that he's been in the first few races. So what a start for Dejon Weeks in this race, doing what he has to do. Tough break for Zachary Fitzwater with 2 laps to go. He was inside the top 15, and now he's going to drop outside of the top 20. Here's the man of the hour. Dejon Weeks is going to see the white flag for one last lap here at Willow Springs. Dejon Weeks going to take it easy in this last lap. He's got a comfortable lead over Jeffrey Finguy. Finguy, who's had a very solid day. He's back there in 2nd. Lewis there in 3rd. Mace 4th. Young in 5th. Great run for Dylan Young. And if Jordan Davis' teammate didn't get caught up in early going troubles, he probably could have been up there as well. And as it runs right now, Jeffrey Finguy has been the only one that has 4 straight top 10 finishes to start the year off, as Griffin is down there in 17th position, or 16th actually, and Davis is way down the order. But Dejon Weeks, what a day it's been for him. Leading every lap so far, he's just going to have to come around and lead this last one for his 4th Sony Cup Series win. And Yamp Motorsports breaking the Dodge streak of wins to start the 2019 season. And Dejon Weeks has had a miserable luck to start off the year, but it's going to be his way here at Willow Springs. A dominating performance, no doubt. Weeks leads every lap and takes home the win here at Willow Springs. Hayden Klein stays in lead lap in 27th, but further back, Finguy will see the checkered flag in 2nd. Great run for him. He closes in on Ryan Griffin in the points lead. In the championship battle, Will Lewis 3rd. Nick Mays brings it home with the top 5 there in 4th. And Jordan Davis is going to lose a lot of points today, 34th. But his teammate alongside of him, Dylan Young, a great run for him in 5th. Schwellenberg, his first top finish of the year. Hernandez struggled a lot, 35th finish for him. Acosta there in 7th. And Zayden Davidson and teammate Bobby Jones, 8th and 9th. They have to be proud about that. And for 10th place, Cody Lamas gets it away from his teammate on the last lap. So Cody Lamas finishes in the top 10 after starting out back. Chris Dodd finishes 11th, and Sanford, who was struggling with his car late in the going, falls to 12th. But it was this man all day long of Dejon Weeks. He is your winner for round 4 of Willow Springs. Congratulations to Dejon Weeks on grabbing the win. Let's get you to our finishing results and standings after round 4.
Wolf mother, where you been? You look so warm, so thin. You're a taker, devil's maker. Let me hear you sing, hey ya, hey ya. Wolf mother at the door. You don't smile anymore. sun would set.